Welcome to Podnutz Daily for June 8th, 2009, episode number 175. Took me a while. Finally got it right after like 4 of the past episodes. I messed that up. And why don't I start off by saying, because I noticed Stella is in the chat room. Stella is now doing the show notes for Podnutz Daily, so she did the show notes for, I think, 173, episode 173. So if you go to podnutz.com, you can see them. No longer going to post on the Podnutz Daily website. The shows are going to be on podnutz.com. I'm going to phase them all over, and then eventually you'll be able to see all the shows on podnutz.com. So I just want to thank, and everybody else should thank Stella for volunteering to do the show notes for Podnutz Daily. Thank you, Stella. I also am looking for people to do the show notes for My Hard Drive Died, which I'm doing an episode of that tonight with Scott Moulton. I'm doing it right after the show. And also for Podnutz, which I hopefully will have another one of those posted soon. Well, let's get into what we did in the shop today. Actually, this is not today. This is the last couple days, including today. I had a Toshiba laptop. And what was it doing here? Laptop CD drive. Oh, okay. You know, I had this before with a Toshiba laptop. And I told the guy it was his motherboard, and he walked away not believing me. And I still, after this one that I'm just going to tell you about now, I still am going to maintain the fact that it's not the drive that's a problem, it's something else that's a problem. Anyway, the customer has a Toshiba laptop, and the CD drive is not working. Now, he had taken this, I think, to Best Buy and a couple other places like the Geek Squad, and he went to one place that actually swapped out 2 other drives. And both of those other drives did not work. Those CD drives did not work on that computer. So then he decided to clean out the original one. They cleaned the leads and clean out the drive. So they cleaned the leads on the drive and on the connectors, and they put it back in, and it worked for like 4 times and then stopped working again. So it's very unclear here what the problem is. Is it a bad drive? Is it Toshiba doesn't like certain CD drives? And his original drive, why did his original drive work only a couple times and then stop? I maintain it's the motherboard. And what I did was I took his CD drive out. And before he bought another CD drive, I wanted to test out his drive. I have a really cool thing I use to test out laptop drives. It's an external laptop drive case. In other words, you can buy like a USB, a little bug flying around. You can buy a USB DVD drive, like an external drive. It's a thin one too, like a laptop-sized one. They're called Slim or whatever they call them. And it's basically a laptop drive in an external case. Well, I had a customer who came in with one of them, and basically it was a Targus, which is not my favorite company. He had a Targus. They're good for computer cases, but not much else, I don't think. It was a Targus, and the laptop drive inside was basically melted. Something shorted the thing out, or something happened to it, and it basically fried the drive. And so he basically gave me the whole thing because the drive was toast. So I took the drive out, and I took the whole thing apart and basically took out of the case, the external drive case, the piece that connects through USB to an external drive. So it's just the circuit board with the connector on it. And it just plugs USB into a computer. And you can just run an external laptop drive. If you could basically picture just a little circuit board with that connector on that you plug laptop drives into. It has one of them on it, a cord to USB all the way to the computer. So it's really slim, it's really neat, and you can test out laptop drives. Just plug them into that thing and then plug them into a desktop computer or your laptop, whatever you want. And I tested his drive out with this adapter, and it worked. So I still think it's a motherboard. But anyway, he wanted to go and buy a drive and test it out himself. I do think, though, that Toshiba, and you guys might know this, and I might just not, I do think that not every drive that you get is going to work in a Toshiba laptop. I have this feeling, I could be totally wrong, I probably am, but I have this feeling because I've experienced something like that before. Anyway, get one of those slim USB drives to test out laptop drives, and just to have a nice external DVD drive if you want it, portable one. They're pretty good. You get them at like Micro Center, cheap. Mainly they come with a CD drive in them. It's hard to find them just as an external case, but they do have them too. Got a trade in. Ooh, this is a fun one. This is a fun one for me. Because I always want to have something that I don't have yet, like a laptop. I got a Dell 15-inch laptop. Now I want a Toshiba 17-inch laptop. So I'm thinking, walking around looking at Toshiba 17-inch laptops at the stores and stuff. So, because I never had a 17-inch laptop, so I have to have one of them. Anyway, a customer walks in with a Toshiba X205-SLI laptop. It's basically a Toshiba gaming laptop. And it's called an SLI because it literally has 2 video cards in it. And it is a heavy, big, 17-inch badass gaming computer. And her daughter's carrying this around with her, like, teenage daughter. And the thing must weigh over 10 pounds. And, she's taking it to college and stuff like that. And anyway, the thing is, this computer stopped powering on. It was a slow progression of a thing. It used to power on and then turn off. And then she turned it on, and it would turn off, and it got the time between her turning it on and turning off got less and less and less till finally it just didn't turn on anymore. In my experience, this is pretty much evidence of an overheat. Dust builds up around the CPU fan. You turn your computer on, it runs for as long as it can before it powers down, and then it powers down, and so you turn it on again, and if you keep doing this to a computer, eventually it's just going to give up entirely and say, look, I'm not going to turn on anymore. So that's what happened to this. I think it's a motherboard. It might be a processor. I'm going to test the processor tomorrow. But it was a refurbished Toshiba, which I thought she had for less than a year, and she claimed she had less than a year. And apparently I said, look, I could replace the motherboard. You're going to spend a lot of money. Call Toshiba. See if this thing's covered under warranty and have them replace the motherboard. So she took it home and tried that. It turns out Toshiba was trying to get her on a 90-day warranty because it was refurbished, which I thought refurbs had the full year warranty. So they might have been giving her the runaround. I don't know. But before she left, I told her, because I had taken an interest in the laptop, look, if you're going to throw this thing out in the trash, bring it back to me. I'll buy it off you. So I looked it up online. It's like a $2,000 laptop. Anyway, she comes in the next day. She says, Toshiba didn't go for it. You said you'd buy it off me, right? I said, yeah, I can't give you much. I'll give you like $150, which I think is fair. I mean, the thing's got a toasted motherboard, I think. So she traded it. She sold it to me. I bought it for $150. Been looking online for motherboards for that. I feel strongly it's the motherboard, so I'm going to try a motherboard. If it's not that, I'm probably going to sell the thing off in pieces or something like that. But since it has 2 video cards, it could be the video cards as well. And the power adapter for this thing is humongous. It's got like 4 pins. It looks like something you plug into your car or something. It's huge. I tested the voltage on that. The voltage came out okay. And the symptoms of the computer are no lights, no nothing. When you hit that power button, nothing happens. So I tested the voltage, make sure the power adapter is putting out the voltage. It's possible